Dee here from the Dishing Tea with Dee show. This year, Vivid Lifestyles VVLS is honoring National Missing Children's Day and is teaming with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We are asking for your help to raise $10,000. To share your generosity, go to the link provided on the screen. And if you have any information regarding a missing child, please report it to your local authorities or call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That is 1-800-843-5678.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Dishing Tea with D. D here. Welcome. Pinkies up, Pub family. Pinkies up. Welcome, Pub family. Step on in. Okay. I know it's a little hectic. I'm supposed to be doing work right now, but I know the Pope already, Francis has already been buried and had a ceremony. I should say buried, I don't know, but how they do that. But has been, his funeral services has been taken, and now they are in the process of determining who should be the new pope. I believe on May 7th will be when all the cardinals get together and kind of vote on that. So let's start off with, let's see, I believe, speaking of Pope, I know, let's see, I'm going to bring this up. Let's put this over here. Let's share this video. So in regards to Pope Francis, I know there's a petition going on. Before we start, I know I just played the clip. All the month of May will be missing children. Actually, May 25th is Missing Children's Day, National Missing Children's Day. So for the entire month of March, we'll be honoring the missing children nationally, and we have come together and with the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, and we are trying to raise money. VVLS is trying to raise money for their organization to help bring these missing children home. The money will go to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children and to help them with the resources to find, locate, and bring missing children home. So again, the link is provided on the screen. I'm gonna leave that link up all through the entire month of May. So that's that. So let's go ahead and get into it. Pope Francis, there is a petition out there. If you go to change.org, you can go and get to that link. Oh, you fucking bitch. You fucking. I gotta whoop your ass. Oh. Yeah, exactly. This doggy's ass. You know you did wrong. Mm-mm-mm. How did all this shit come out of you, dude? Ew, right? Yucky. Oh, you know why you shaking, dude? I didn't do nothing to you. I should. I should beat that ass, but I'm not going to. I don't got time to do that shit right now. It just stinks. Hold on, guys. My dog took a shit right now in my place. Ugh. Ass fight. Mmm. You gotta keep your stinky ass to yourself. Okay. Sorry, like my dog literally looked at me and shit it right in front of me. And these dogs are trained. The last time, I don't think he's ever shit in the house like this. I think it was probably the last time he was sick and we were like in another place. So it's not like he does this on a regular basis. And this was a lot. I mean, it was solid too. So it's like, and he went this morning quite a bit too. So I'm like, what the freak? You're a tiny ass dog. You're shitting like my big dog. Anyway, whoa. Anywho, and it's not even time. Like he must have been holding that for a minute because I take him out at we go out like at 5 or 6 in the morning, and then he goes out again at 9. So he just went out a couple of hours ago. No, I took him out at 8. I took him out a little early because I got on. Like it was like around 9 o'clock when I was on earlier. Took him out before I got on earlier, so he wouldn't bother me. What the fuck? That was a lot of shit. That was a lot of shit. Like a lot of shit. So anyway, okay. Chanel, that's enough. You shouldn't need to go either. Y'all, both of y'all. I don't know what. I mean, that's considered healthy, but shh. I know they're fixing next door. Leave them alone. So anywho. So now that if you go to change.org, they're trying to get Pope Francis to be recognized as a saint. Okay, anywho. So it says right here, Pope Francis gave his life to the service of others. He chose humility over power, simplicity over status, and compassion over control. He walked with the poor, welcomed the outcast, and fought for justice across the globe. From climate action to LGBTQ inclusion to migrant rights, Pope Francis was a voice for the voiceless and a light for millions. Even when attacked by powerful critics, he stayed true to his mission of mercy, dignity, and radical love. This wasn't just a papacy, it was a legacy of grace. Now, as the world mourns his loss, the best way to honor him is to make that legacy permanent. We're calling on the Vatican to begin the process of canonization and declare Pope Francis a saint. His life changed the church. Let's make sure it changes history. Sign the petition if you believe Pope Francis should be recognized as a saint. So, let's see. Didn't say who created it. So right now, when I first saw this, it was at 5,000 and something petitions. I mean, signers, signatures. This was only a couple of days ago, so as you can tell, it grew exponentially to about 7,000. So people have been going on and signing. So if you believe Pope Francis should be considered a saint or recognized as a saint, go to the petition and go ahead and sign and let your voice be heard. Okay, and now let's go over here. Share this tab instead. So now we're gonna get into, sorry, um, who um, who will be considered the next pope, or which cardinals are considered to replace the new pope, to be replaced as the new pope. Um, Obviously, it's funny how they kind of put this. They put it as like a little job application. It says, wanted a holy man, job description leading the 1.4 billion strong Catholic Church, location in obviously Vatican City. There are no official candidates for the papacy, but some cardinals are considered papable of possessing the characteristics necessary to become pope. After St. John Paul II broke the centuries-long Italian hold on the papacy in 1978, the field of contenders has broadened considerably. When the cardinals entered the Sistine Chapel on May 7 to choose a successor to Pope Francis, the first pontiff from Latin America, they will be looking above all for a holy man who can guide the Catholic Church. Beyond that, they will weigh his administrative and pastoral experience and consider what the church needs today. Here is a selection of possible contenders in no particular order. The list will be updated as cardinals continue their closed door pre conclave discussions. So, this is all kind of like who they're like tossing in that, okay, I kind of want him, kind of want him, kind of want him. Let's put these people out there. They're basically getting the people for the ballot ready. They're getting the ballot ready, basically, so they can do their vote. So, obviously, we have Cardinal Petro Parolin. His nationality is Italian, so he'll be considered. He's Italian. His Vatican. Right now, his position is the Vatican Secretary of State under Francis. So obviously, he's already a member, pretty close to that kind of hierarchy. He was made a cardinal by Francis, so obviously he may be more aligned going towards the Francis way of running things. Sit down, baby. So, so we definitely want to, so that also is something to consider. Like, and I know there was a lot of controversy with Pope Francis and how he ran the church and how he organized it, and I know he was real acceptable to the LGBTQ and things like that. And I know there's a lot of controversy with that. Because a lot of the Catholics are really gung ho on religion, and they feel strong-heartedly. their side of the religion should not partake in that. So there was a lot of controversy. Again, I'm not here to speak on that. I'm just here to give y'all the information. So again, this is Cardinal Petro Parolin. Again, he was made a cardinal by Francis. He's 70 years old. The 70-year-old veteran. Obviously, he's not 70 years old. He was born in 55. God, I don't understand these pope. They should pick a pope who's a little bit younger, but still with the same, but not too young, but not too old. But we need somebody who's gonna be a pope for more than like 15 years. Just saying. I mean, then a lot can happen in 15 years. I mean, more than 5 years, because what is he born in 55? So what does that make him? 40, 50, 65, 60, 60, 70 years old. So anywhere in between there. So the 70-year-old veteran diplomat was, okay, 70-year-old. He's 70. Was France's Secretary of State, essentially the Holy See's prime minister. Though associated closely with France's pontificate, Parolin is much more demure in personality and diplomatic in his approach to leading than the Argentine Jesus he served, and he knows where the Catholic Church might need a course correction. So Parolin oversaw the Holy See's controversial deal with China over bishop nominations and was involved but not charged in the Vatican's botched investment in a London real estate venture that led to a 2021 trial of another cardinal and 9 others. A former ambassador to Venezuela, Parolin knows the Latin American church well and played a key role in the 2014 U.S.-Cuba detente, which the Vatican helped facilitate. If he were elected, he would return an Italian to the papacy after 3 successive outsiders, St. John Paul II, which was Poland, Pope Benedict the 16th in Germany, and Francis Argentina. But Parolin has very little pastoral experience. He entered the seminary at age 14, 4 years after his father was killed in a car accident. After his 1980 ordination, he spent 2 years as a parish priest near his hometown in northern Italy, but then went to Rome to study and entered the Vatican diplomatic service, where he has remained ever since. He was served at Vatican embassies in Nigeria, Mexico, and Venezuela. He is widely respected for his diplomatic finesse on some of the thorniest dossiers facing the Catholic Church. He has long been involved in the China file, and he played a hands-on role in the Holy See's diplomatic rapprochement with Vietnam that resulted in an agreement to establish a resident Vatican representative in the country. Parolin was also the Vatican's point person in its frustrated efforts to end the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. He has tried to make the church's voice heard as the Trump administration began working to end Russia's war in Ukraine. Let's hope we can arrive at peace that, in order to be solid, lasting, must be a just peace, must involve all the actors who are at stake and take into account the principles of international law and the UN declarations, he said. Parolin might find the geopolitical reality ushered in by the Trump administration somewhat unreceptive to the Holy See's soft power. And then we have Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. He's Filipino. Um, he's a former Archbishop of Manila, Philippines, and he was made a cardinal by Benedict, so the Pope before Francis. Tago 67 is on many bookmarks where the church is growing. Francis brought the popular Archbishop of Manila to Rome to head the Vatican's missionary evangelization Office, which serves the needs of the Catholic Church in much of Asia and Africa. His role took on greater weight when Francis reformed the Vatican bureaucracy. Tago often cites his Chinese heritage. His maternal grandmother was part of Chinese family that moved to the Philippines. Though he has pastoral Vatican and management experience, he headed the Vatican's Caritas Internationalis Federation of charity groups before coming to Rome permanently. Tago would be on the young side to be elected pope, with cardinals perhaps preferring an older candidate whose papacy would be more limited. Tago is known as good communicator and teacher, key attributes for a pope. I guess so they can control the pope. I think that's why they want him old. But then that's always the way it's been. Even when I was watching the Tudors, like even back then the popes were old. Like they didn't last long, and at that they were still trying to fight for control. Whoever's had their cardinal in the pope, that city just that country just seemed to be ran, I guess, be able to take over. They saw it as a form of power. Tago is known as a good communicator and teacher, key attributes for a pope. The pope will have to do a lot of teaching, will have to face the cameras all the time. So if there will be a communicator pope, that's very desirable, said Leo Acampo, a theology professor at the University of Santo Thomas in Manila. That said, Tago's tenure at Caritas was not without controversy, and some have questioned his management skills. In 2022, Francis outside the Caritas management, ousted the Caritas management, including demoting Tago. The Holy See said an outside investigation had found real deficiencies in management that had affected staff morale at the Caritas Secretariat in Rome. So, he's very controversial. I don't know. Like they give both sides. Cardinal Fridolin Ambongo Bisungo. Okay, Archbishop of Kinshasa, Congo. Okay. The 65-year-old Ambongo is one of Africa's most outspoken Catholic leaders, heading the archdiocese that has the largest number of Catholics on the continent, that seen as the future of the church. He has been Archbishop of Congo's capital since 2018 and a cardinal since 2019. Francis also appointed him to a group of advisors that was helping recognize the Vatican bureaucracies. In Congo and across Africa, Bongo has been deeply committed to the Catholic orthodoxy and is seen as conservative. So he may not like the LGBTQ communities or the migrants, things like that. That Francis, he has a little bit more of a stricter conservative background. In 2024, he signed a statement on behalf of the bishops' conferences of Africa and Madagascar, refusing to follow Francis' declaration allowing priests to offer blessings to same-sex couples. Told you. So, yes, he is a little bit more old school. In what amounted to continent-wide dissent from a papal teaching, the rebuke crystallized both the African Church's line on LGBTQ outreach and Ambongo's statue within the African hierarchy. He has received praise from some in Congo for promoting interfaith tolerance, especially on a continent where religious divisions between Christians and Muslims are common. So he rather bring the faith together than other things together. He is for the openness of the church to different cultures, said Monsignor Donatin, I don't know, Secretary General of the National Episcopal Conference of Congo, who has long worked with Ambongo. Sorry, I don't got time to do all this research. An outspoken government critic, the cardinal is also known for his unwavering advocacy for social justice. In a country with high poverty and hunger levels, despite being rich in minerals, and where fighting by rebel groups has killed thousands and displaced millions in one of their world's biggest humanitarian crises, he frequently criticizes both government corruption exploitation of the country's natural resources by foreign powers, which is kind of true. Kind of Congo is the plate from which everyone eats except for our people, he said last year during a speech at the Pontifical Antonianum University. Ambango's criticism of authorities has drawn both public admiration and legal scrutiny. Last year, prosecutors ordered a judicial investigation of him after accusing him of seditious behavior over his criticism of his government's handling on the conflict in Eastern Congo. Cardinal Matthias Zuppi. He looks like a cool pope. Hey, what up, Pope? What up? He's Italian. Let's see, he's Archbishop of Bologna, Italy. President, I'm pretty sure it's Bologna, but oh well. I don't know. Italy, president of the Italian Bishops' Conference, auxiliary bishop of Rome. He was made cardinal by Francis. Zuppi 69 came up, he's a little on the younger side too. Came up, oh, I don't know, he's about to hit 70. Came up as a street priest in the image of Francis, who promoted him quickly, first to Archbishop of the wealthy Archdiocese of Bologna in northern Italy in 2015, before bestowing the title of cardinal in 2019. He is closely affiliated with the Sant'Egidio community, a Rome-based Catholic charity that was influential under Francis, particularly in interfaith dialogue. Zuppi was part of Sant'Egidio's team that helped negotiate to end the Mozambique's civil war in the 1990s and was named France's peace envoy for Russia's war in Ukraine. He traveled to Kyiv and Moscow after Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky appealed to the Holy See for help in winning the release of 19,000 Ukrainian children taken from their families and brought to Russia during the war. The mission also took him to China and the United States. After making him a cardinal, Francis made clear he wanted him in charge of Italy's bishop, a sign of admiration for the prelate who, like Francis, is known as a street priest, someone who prioritizes ministering to poor and homeless people and refugees. So I mean, there's a fine line. And there's one thing to help refugees, the homeless people, and the stuff, but to a certain extent. Not when you're putting your own country at risk. But anyway, Zuppi would be a candidate in Francis' tradition of ministering to those on the margins, although his relative youth would count against him for cardinal seeking a short papacy. In a sign of progressive leanings, Zuppi wrote the introduction to the Italian edition of Building a Bridge by the Reverend James Martin and American Jesuit about the church's need to improve its outreach to the LGBTQ community. Zuppi wrote the building bridges with the community was a difficult process still unfolding. He recognized that doing nothing, on the other hand, risks causing a great deal of suffering, makes people feel lonely, and often leads to the adoption of positions that are both contrasting and extreme. Zuppi's family also has a strong institutional ties. His father worked for the Vatican newspaper, and his mother was the niece of Cardinal Carlo Codfagnier. Okay, so we have Cardinal Peter Erdo. He's Hungarian. He was twice elected head of the umbrella group of the European bishops conferences, and he was made a cardinal by John Paul. So I think this was like 3 bishops ago. So he's been a cardinal for a while then. Known by his peers as a serious theologian, scholar, and educator, Erdo 72 is leading contender among conservatives. So another conservative. So his views on, abortion, LGBTQ, same sex, things like that. He has served as the Archbishop of Esztergom, Budapest since 2002 and was made a cardinal by John Paul the following year. He has participated in 2 conclaves in 2005 and 2013 for the selection of Benedict and Francis. So yeah, it was 3 popes ago. Okay. Holding doctorates in theology and canon law, Erdo speaks 6 languages, is a proponent of doctrinal orthodoxy, and champions the church's positions on issues like abortion and same-sex marriage. He's an advocate for traditional family structures. He helped organize France's 2014 and 2015 Vatican meetings on the family. While careful to avoid taking part in Hungary's often tumultuous political life, Erdo has maintained a close relationship with the country's righteous populist government, which provides generous subsidies to Christian churches. When hundreds of thousands of asylum seekers entered Europe in 2015, fleeing war and deprivation in the Middle East and Africa, Erdo emphasized that the church had a Christian duty to provide humanitarian assistance to those in need, but stopped short of the full-throated advocacy for migrants that was one of the France's top priorities. So, therefore, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 candidates so far. That was Cardinal Pietro Parolin, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tago, Cardinal Fridolin Ambango Besungu, Cardinal Matteo Zuppi, and Cardinal Peter Erdo. So, again, they have until May 7th. More people could be added to this list of cardinals that could become the new pope. Again, right now there's about 5 of them. They don't want too many anyway, because then that'll just kind of blur the lines of what's going on in the major issues. But I do think there's about 2 or 3 that I do feel confident, 1 or 2 that I think may fall to the wayside, especially I feel like if the conservatives get their say, I really do think that they'll bring in a more conservative, more of an old-fashioned thinker that has those old-fashioned values. Should say old-fashioned thinkers. They have old-fashioned values. So, like I said, I have a lot of opinions. Again, let me go ahead and read this guys out to you, because I know I didn't start this, and I should have. I need to get in the habit of playing this. Where is it? Right here, under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips a balance in favor of fair use. And again, all people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And also, let's see. Sorry, I got to make sure all my bases to cover. I reserve my First Amendment rights to express myself. So again, these are all my opinions, my own research. So again, as far as the Cardinals, if there's still a lot of like the old-fashioned conservatives who have those old-fashioned values and things like that, I do think a couple of those cardinals will become pope. If more of the newer generations and things like that, if a lot of the cardinals feel for that, then more than likely they'll continue the route that Pope Francis was going, and open up the church to anyone and everyone. So I don't know. I just think a religious is another way to divide people, but who am I to say? So again, everybody, thank you for being here at Dishing Tea with D. I'm gonna play my video one more time, so that way y'all.
Dee here from the Dishing Tea with Dee show. This year, Vivid Lifestyles VVLS is honoring National Missing Children's Day and is teaming with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We are asking for your help to raise $10,000. To share your generosity, go to the link provided on the screen. And if you have any information regarding a missing child, please report it to your local authorities or call the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. That is 1-800-843-5678.
So again, please, if May 25th is National Missing Children's Day, we are honoring all of May in regards to National Missing Children's Day. We are trying to raise money for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. So please go to that link above. Please, $1.50, $2, $5, penny, whatever you can give. Go to that website, give.missingkids.org /VVLS. Also, if you have any information in regards to any missing children, whether they're on the National Missing and Exploited list or they're just recently in your city, if they're just locally in your city or in your town or anything like that, you have any information, please call your local authorities. If you obviously don't have access to contact your local authorities, please contact the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST. So please 1-800-THE-LOST or go to your local authorities if you have any information on any missing child. Again, thank you so much for being here with me. It was a pleasure. Hopefully, you got a little bit of information. Again, if you want to see Pope Francis be recommended and honored as a saint, go to change.org, sign that petition, let your voice be heard. And then I'll keep you updated once we figure out if there's more options for who can be the new pope. I will definitely let you guys know, but it's all in the hands of the cardinals, whether they want to go with the more traditional or go with the more traditional conservative pope or cardinal to become pope, or take more of the new founded way and go the Pope Francis way and go that way. So we'll see. We'll keep in contact. Again, if you have any information in regards to a missing child, call 1-800-THE-LOST or contact your local authorities. If you're wanting to donate and support the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to help bring these children back home, go to the link above, the give.missingkids.org /VVLS. Again, thank you again for being here. Thank you, Pub family. Have a great day and pinkies up.